YouTube, what is going on? Thank you so much for being here today to check out the latest episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. The support you guys have given the channel has been incredible and so greatly appreciated. You guys don't even know. And that makes you all a part of the best damn community here on YouTube, without a doubt. Hope you guys enjoyed the new logo reveal and opening to the video. Kind of did a refresh on both of them this week. But the original Cobra isn't going anywhere. You never forget your first one. So today we're going to talk about holding cash versus precious metals. And the weird thing about cash is this. Yeah, we know it's trash. We get it. It's lost, 97% of its spending power since the Federal Reserve was introduced back in 1913, which is absolutely insane. Hey, you got to love the Fed, right? They love to piss us off to no end.
You have made me very angry. Very angry indeed.
See, Marvin gets it. But hey, that's for another time and another video. Now, even though cash is trash, we still need it for everyday functions, whether we carry physical dollars in our pockets or if we never even see our cash as anything other than numbers on the bank app on our phones. So either way, it's still vital. And while we haven't gone the way of these bolivars just yet, you guys didn't know I was a millionaire, did you? Or even these Zimbabwe dollars. Now I'm a billionaire. The dollar does continue to plummet in comparison to what we can buy these days, right? But anyway, we're going to compare holding these dollars to metals, pros and cons of both. And believe it or not, there are still some great reasons to hold cash. And I'll also give you a scenario where your dollars have the potential to make a little bit of interest while you hold it in an account versus physically somewhere in your safe or in the house, under the mattress or whatever. Now, all that said, let's go ahead and roll this thing, huh? All right, so let's start off with cash. Hopefully some of you have been stacking some away for a rainy day, since it's always good to have at least a little bit on hand. The quote-unquote experts say you should have around 3 to 6 months of available reserve funds at all times to cover unexpected zingers in life. But the reality is this. That's not feasible for everyone, especially in today's economy. People are struggling to buy groceries, never mind keeping 3 to 6 months of reserve cash. I try to keep a few months on hand when I can, because I've tapped into it a couple times in the past for house repairs and whatnot. But I do keep zero balances on my credit cards for the most part, by rotating them each month and putting small balances on them just to keep them active, and then I pay it off at the end of the month. Now, I'd rather use some of my cash to pay those unexpected bills than put anything major on my credit cards because of that stinking interest. So what are the benefits of holding physical cash at the house, whether it's locked in a fireproof safe or under the mattress or wherever the hell you keep it? I'll give you 5 good reasons. Number 1, you have instant access to your funds if something goes wrong, or God forbid the grid goes down. What a mess that would be. Because if that goes down, there goes your crypto, your debit cards, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, yada yada. They're all going to be useless. Number 2, it keeps your finances private since the funds are off the radar. Number 3, it can't be breached by hackers and stolen, at least not electronically. Number 4, if you ever lose your debit card, you still have funds to draw from. And number 5, my favorite reason, you got money for gold and silver at the coin shows, baby. You don't have to hit the ATM. So those are the plus reasons to hold some cash, but there's a fair share of reasons not to, and they are. Number 1, it's not insured. Now, God forbid you have a damaging house fire or some other emergency, and the cash is lost. Hopefully, if you're stashing stuff, you have it in, at the very least, hold your cash in one of those Sentry Safe fire safes. It'll give you at least a little bit of protection. Hopefully the fire gets put out in time. But the good size ones are about $55-$60 at Wally World, and probably a good investment. Okay, that's a good $60 investment. Number 2, believe it or not, some places won't accept it. They won't accept cash. Sounds crazy, but it's true. Since COVID, everything went crazy during COVID, but a lot of places went to contactless transactions, and they still carry that today. Not as many, but a few are still doing it. And number 3, there is zero earning potential when you hold cash at your house. So you don't want to hold a whole bunch of it, tons of it. That $20 bill you stashed 10 years ago, it's still going to be a $20 bill, but it's not going to buy what it used to 10 years ago. Now, remember that statistic of how much earning power the dollar's lost since the Fed came around? Yeah, it's real. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of holding precious metals in your home. We'll start with the advantages. Number one, the number one benefit of owning physical metal is that, unlike stocks, bonds, real estate, you directly own a highly portable permanent store of value, and not just a paper claim on an asset you may have no way of monetizing in a crisis. That's big time, and I'm including ETFs in that. I don't trust ETFs. I mean, they're great for turning a quick profit, but silver ETFs, I mean, you could lose access to those. You could lose your money. Number two, can't be hacked or erased because your metals aren't connected to the internet or any apps. Number three, it's private and it's confidential wealth. No one knows you even have it. Hopefully, you guys follow the Fight Club mantra. We don't talk about stacking, okay? What happens in the house, what gets stacked in the house, stays in the house. Number four, you don't need extensive knowledge to stack metals like you would buying stocks. Let's face it, you shouldn't dabble in the markets unless you're doing your due diligence. Seriously. I've seen guys just take tips from the street, like mining stocks, some of them, and they put their money in, they get wrecked, boom, money gone, and then they get pissed. But hey, did you look at the numbers? Did you look at everything? Probably not. And last, number five, they're portable. They are portable. The majority of stackers are below 1,000 ounces of silver, and even if you had 1,000, I think 1,000 is completely movable without much issue. Case in point, folks, 1,000 troy ounces of silver only weighs in at 62.5 pounds. And I think most of us could handle that, or at least find a way to, right? And gold, hell, that's even better. It takes up almost no space, and it has very little weight in comparison to its value. And just like holding cash, there are some disadvantages to holding precious metals at the house, and they are, number one, they can be stolen. Look, even some of the best alarm and deterrent systems have their weaknesses. If somebody gets in, hopefully you have a stout safe or your stuff is hidden really well. You can buy insurance riders for precious metals, but it can be kind of a pain. And there's a lot of gray area as to what they'll actually cover. Number two, storage. We just talked about the need to have a really good safe. And unfortunately, the good ones are going to cost you some bucks. And to me, safe deposit boxes at the bank, not an option. Not an option. Some people love them. I refuse to put anything in the bank. The bank doesn't know what you have in the box, so they're not insured. And what if you need access to your stuff and the bank is closed, or worse yet, it shuts down permanently? And we've seen that happen in the last year and a half. I mean, it could take weeks, months, sometimes years to recover your stuff, and it could be through a trial. You just don't know the difficulty of what it might take to get your stuff back. And even then, there's no guarantee you'll get a single ounce in return. Number three is liquidity, as in your metals might not be immediately liquid. Metals are liquid, but are they immediately liquid? Some states have passed laws, and I think this is fantastic, by the way. Some states are passing laws making gold and silver legal tender, but as of right now, you still can't buy groceries or a new car with gold coins or silver bars. You have to convert it to currency, unless you're using them for barter, which we're not doing just yet. So it might take some time to get your metals turned back into fiat cash for that emergency. You needed it now. Number four, last one, taxes. Taxes suck. We know it. But believe it or not, gold and silver bullion are recognized by the IRS as quote-unquote collectibles. Any way they can make a stinking buck. These guys are ridiculous. This means you're paying a maximum 28% capital gains tax if the metal is held for over a year. Absolute insanity. We're paying taxes on what amounts to sound money. And that's just the definition of stupidity and greed. All right, moving on. Earlier, I alluded to another way to store your cash in a way that you can actually make some money on it. No, I'm not pushing a product, and this isn't a trick to get you into buying mining stocks. Those of you who know me, you know how I feel about those. I'm actually talking about high-yield savings accounts, and these work by paying you interest on money you deposit into a savings account, and it's usually an online bank because they have no overhead fees, right? These accounts typically offer higher interest rates than traditional savings accounts because, again, they're operating at lower overhead costs. Makes sense, right? For instance, traditional traditional savings from one of the big box banks, that's typically going to earn about, 0.01% APY. That's not, why bother? That's nothing. While the best high-yield savings accounts earn well over 4.0% APY. That's the average. So if you're not comfortable with storing cash at the house, hey, this might be a better alternative for you. Just bear in mind that there are pros and cons of online accounts like these. So please don't take my word for it. Don't take anybody's word on YouTube for anything. Make sure you know the answer. Make sure you do your due diligence before you open one up. But financial gurus are going to tell you that while these accounts aren't built for everyone, it doesn't hurt to have at least one high yield savings account. They're saying it's worth it for most people. So, it might not hurt to throw a few bucks into one and let it grow a bit. Just don't plan on leaving it there long term because these accounts will go as the APY goes. You're going to have to keep your eyes open and monitor the damn thing. All right, folks, there you have it. One note I forgot to make mention of when I was talking about high yield savings accounts. They are going to have the same disadvantage, obviously, as banks and anything that's out of your possession. If the grid goes down or if the bank fails, poof, there goes your high yield savings account, right? All things to think about. You got to think about this stuff. So what are you guys' thoughts on all this? Do you guys believe in stacking cash? Believe in keeping some? I know you believe in stacking metals because you're sitting here watching this video, right? Anyway, be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are. You guys know I love going through them, so make sure you sound off. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. And if you made it this far, well, kudos to you. I'll definitely catch up with you in the next episode, but in the meantime, yeah, you know what's up.
What do you want to do with your life?
I want to stack.
Damn right. Get stacked. Stay safe and be well, everyone. I am out of here. Peace, folks. I'll see you on Sunday.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
Oh, yes. And what was that beginning, middle, and end part again?